So Zelensky delivered a masterclass. Okay, so Trump doesn't win the Nobel and Putin congratulates him. Zelensky, well, he went and did this. I'll show you. It's pretty incredible, but I'm going to have to kind of walk you through this. So this is the Nobel Prize winner. Her name is Maria Machado, and she stood up to the Venezuelan dictator, and like, good on her for getting the Nobel Peace Prize. I don't begrudge her at all, given her circumstances and what she's doing. Okay, so then Putin decides that he's going to use this to kind of get back into Trump's good graces. So Putin fawns over Trump. The Nobel Committee's authority is lost. Putin adds that Trump is trying and working on achieving peace, citing the situation in the Middle East as an example. If it works out, it will be a historic event. That's true. If it works out, it will be a historic event. And then he goes on in this, and like Trump was robbed, right? So Trump responds, "Thank you, President Putin." And okay, that was Putin's playing his card. Well, then Zelensky played his. Oh, by the way, let me show you Lukashenko. Lukashenko, another expert on peace, human rights, and democracy, has commented on this year's Nobel Committee decision. Utter stupidity, he says. Lukashenko was weighing in on this as well. And it kind of makes my skin crawl that Lukashenko is praising Trump or Putin is praising Trump. You're not good guys. I don't want you to be on the same side here. Okay, at any rate, so here's Trump saying that he got a call from the actual Nobel Prize winner. I got a call from someone who won the Nobel Prize. She said she was accepting the award in my honor because I deserve it. That's nice. I didn't say then give it to me, though I think she could have. Oh, come on, really? So she was very nice, and I helped her. They need a lot of help in Venezuela, the president added. Okay, so Trump he didn't get the Nobel Prize. He still thinks he's been robbed or something, but okay. Now, what did Zelensky do after Putin kind of wormed his way back into good graces by saying this? Well, Zelensky also congratulates Trump on the success of recent Middle East agreement and discussed strengthening Ukraine's air defense. If it's possible to stop a war in that region, then surely other wars can be stopped too, including this Russian war. That is reported in the Kyiv Post. Zelensky put this out. I had a call with U.S. President Donald Trump, a very positive and productive one. I congratulated the President of the United States on his success in the Middle East deal he was able to secure, which is an outstanding achievement. Of course, Trump's going to love hearing that he has an outstanding achievement. If a war can be stopped in one region, then surely other wars can be stopped as well, including the Russian war. I informed President Trump about Russia's attacks on our energy system, and I appreciate his willingness to support us. We discussed opportunities to bolster our air defense, as well as concrete statements that we are working on to ensure this. There are good options and solid ideas on how to truly strengthen us. There needs to be readiness on the Russian side to engage in real diplomacy. This can be achieved through strength. Thank you, Mr. President. So this was a really good look for Zelensky. It was a masterclass in slipping right back in, outdoing what Putin did in, praising Trump or saying he was robbed. He outdid him by going even further than that and kind of neutralized what Putin was doing. Okay. Other news. So this is the former Prime Minister of Lithuania, or former member of the European Parliament, Commissioner for Defense and Space, former Prime Minister of Lithuania. His name is Andris Kubilius. We are not at war, but we are not at peace either. Now, I heard, I think it was Merz say that the other day, and that's right. They're not at peace either. Provocations can continue for years to come. It is Russia that attacked Ukraine and provokes EU member states, not the other way around. That's an important point. To protect peace, we're working on defense readiness, materially, institutionally, and politically. But I think you need to go a step further, and I think Ben Hodges said it correctly. He said, unfortunately, we are at war, even if we don't want to say it. The Russians are clearly at war with us. Hybrid war is still war. The deliberate conduct of gray zone operations that violate international law, sovereignty, and put citizens and economies at risk is war. Okay, that's right. Somebody needs to say it, not just like try to avoid it, like you're avoiding your crazy uncle. You don't want to do that. Okay, meanwhile, the Belarusian army has been placed on the highest level of combat readiness by direct order of Lukashenko. According to the Ministry of Defense, units will, quote, move to designated areas and carry out the tasks specified in the directive. I don't know that anything meaningful has happened here. The Belarusian army is not all that powerful. It's even less powerful once Russia took their armor because they were running out of armor. So, okay, we'll keep our eye on it, but I don't think anything will come of it. The Czech army has confirmed drone sightings over its bases and says that it's prepared to jam or shoot down any that threaten it. Similar activity has been recorded across Europe in recent weeks, but this makes what, the sixth European nation with drones going over things that it shouldn't be going over? Germany is dealing with this, right? I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. Germany will supply Ukraine with new Sky Ranger 35 anti-aircraft gun systems mounted on Leopard 1 tank platforms. Rheinmetall will be paid for them through NATO program that uses proceeds from frozen Russian assets. But Germany has had this issue with things going over their air bases, and they can't really do anything about it because they altered their constitution in a good way. They were trying to prevent the like a Nazi kind of takeover again, so they limited and restricted what the army could actually do. So Germany's constitutional safeguards designated to prevent Nazi repeat create a drone defense gap amid recent incursions, according to Politico. The Bundeswehr, tell me how I'm pronouncing that. I've got that wrong. I know what I'm reading, but to pronounce it, possesses the technical capability to counter drone threats, but it's constitutionally prohibited from operating in domestic airspace, a restriction designed in 1949 to prevent a repeat of how military power was abused during the Nazi era. It's the same way that like the CIA doesn't operate or isn't supposed to operate within the United States. It's supposed to be like overseas. FBI is supposed to be doing investigations in the U.S. Okay, under current law, the military can shoot down drones over military bases. German police have legal authority to intercept drones, but lack the equipment. So the fix is to make sure that the police have the military training and equipment in order to counter drones if that's what's necessary. Earlier, Chancellor Merz stated he believes that Russia is responsible for most drone sightings, noting that they appear to be conducting reconnaissance operations over sensitive sites. Okay, and that's perfectly fair observation. We can't prove that all of them are from the Russians, but the Russians seem to be largely behind this. Let's put it that way. Okay, since the start of the war, Russia has abducted thousands of Ukrainian children from their homeland. This is Michael McCall. He is the chairman emeritus of the House Foreign Relations Committee and indoctrinated many to serve as soldiers. I'm incredibly grateful to the First Lady who cares deeply about these things, or these children, and is working to bring them home. Thank you, First Lady of the United States. And so that goes to this, where Melania Trump says 8 Ukrainian children abducted to Russia have been returned home after secret talks with Moscow. She calls it an ongoing mission to reunite children separated by war. And so that was an awesome contribution from Melania Trump. And you might think, okay, it's only 8 children, and there's 20,000 children that have been stolen essentially by the Russians and displaced somewhere within Russia. Still, to those 8 children, that's everything. So thank you to the First Lady. Zelensky was also offering an award to the Minister for the State Minister of State for International Cooperation of the UAE. Ukraine is grateful to every country, to all who genuinely support our people. The United Arab Emirates have more than once acted as intermediaries to return Ukrainians from Russian captivity. We also appreciate the significant humanitarian initiatives, support for Ukrainian children and families, and bilateral cooperation. So the Minister of State for International Cooperation of the UAE, this woman here, is awarded the Order of Princess Olga First Class for her significant personal contribution to aiding Ukraine. So that's good to see that this is working behind the scenes. It's not going fast enough nearly, but it's still working. All right. Meanwhile, last thing, North Korea celebrated the 80th anniversary of the ruling party with a massive military parade. Because, hey, why wouldn't you do that with a massive military parade in Pyongyang? Personally overseen by Kim Jong-un, who unveiled the, of course, new nuclear intercontinental ballistic missile. It's the most powerful weapon in the country's arsenal. It's always fascinating to me why they do this kind of thing. Like here's our new weapon. In the rest of the world, in countries that are really doing things right, they're like, whoa, look at this new AI and we can do some amazing things with it and we're going to grow our economy. Here, they're always talking about saber rattling and the new nuclear intercontinental missile. So, a little bit about this. In his speech, the dictator declared the infallible path of the party and promised to build a socialist paradise. We'll get to that socialist paradise in a moment. The parade was attended by delegations from China, Russia, and Vietnam. Russia was represented by Medvedev. During the parade, state media called the Hwasong 20 the most powerful strategic nuclear system. It is capable of striking targets in the United States. However, analysts doubt the missile's ability to accurately hit targets and survive re-entry into the atmosphere, which is kind of an important point if you're a ballistic missile. Kim Jong-un also hinted at possible foreign operations involving the North Korean army. Now, I want to go back to this idea here that they're going to create this socialist paradise. This is a picture of North Korea at night. This is what the socialist paradise has been brought forth. It is stunning just how terrible the socialist paradise has been. All right, my friends, that's all that I have in this update video. Thank you for your time, the likes, the shares, and the subscribes. Thank you for bearing with me while I'm at my conference, and I'll be back tomorrow. All right. Thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.